Mm. Fly, fly, my fools, fly, my pretties, fly. Fly, fly, my fools, fly, my pretties. Oh my god, I sound like Cartman. It makes all the sense if you ask me. Let's get rid of these two bad boys right here, as they have nothing to do with me. And, yeah. Yeah, we are good to possibly go. No? Okay. Ree! Ree! I'm Darker Elite. Ree! Okay, we've got ourselves our first technical glitch of the night. Well done, GOG, for seamlessly transitioning this game. Let's try it again. Ree! There we are. Something good came out of tonight. Speaking of, welcome back to something I can't actually... Look at this shit. Why is it now... Hold on, why the hell is it... Why is it now... Oh, graphics. Resolution. Where's full screen? What sort of... I'm not playing this in windowed mode. Don't you be giving me this window mode shit. I'm not playing this in windowed mode. Don't give me this window mode shit. Game capture on. Bioshock 2 is the best Bioshock game. You, sir, are an idiot. But you're not an idiot for what most people say. Most people say this game is shit. It is not shit. It is mediocre. I think Bioshock 2 is mediocre. So let's try this again. Hopefully without a fuck up this time. Because the first time around it worked, so I don't see what the problem now is. No. Something has gone wrong. Fuck yes, good sir. I mean, this is a good example. What's up with this lack of, widescreen? Now you can't see, don't worry, I'll turn back on it. Can you hear it at least? And the game crashed. Game crashed again. Right, so mind telling me how this is a Alright, this game isn't working. Yeah, so it's not working. Just keeps crashing on me. Stop doing this, by the way. There we are. This is the last time I try it. Doesn't look great, but I've played it in worse modes. The gameplay in it isn't terrible, but I mean, it's nothing to write home about either. Infinite at least try to spice it up. I love Overlord, or at least I loved Overlord at the time. Overlord 2 was crap. Overlord 1 was alright. Beneath the Atlantic Ocean. Just somewhere beneath it. Wake up, it's time for school.
Look, Daddy, it's you.
Aw, you probably made that out of skin, didn't you? Look how clean they are before shit hits the fan. Wow, I'm really losing weight. This new diet's doing wonders for me. Hey, it's a libertarian icon. Not the corpse. That's creepy. And not in the way that they mean.
Angels, Daddy. This way.
Whee! Hey Bill, sorry for the weird angle. I want to see this. I want to see the fall of Rapture, you know?
You want some, big guy?
You only get to see it after it's fallen apart.
Bigger they are, harder they are.
He died.
Get out of here, freak!
Junkies. They have more balls than you give them credit for.
There we are. He's perfectly safe now.
This I did not like. She's like one of the crappiest characters ever put to a game.
Her name is Eleanor, and she is mine. Now, kneel, please. Remove your helmet.
Would you kindly?
Now, take the pistol. Place it against your head.
Cool Luger, though.
Fire.
She's never even remotely mentioned in the first game, but she's apparently more of a threat than Atlas ever was. Her philosophy is just weird psychobabble. And her payoff is not a payoff. It's the exact same as... Tenenbaum would have been better. Tenenbaum going crazy would have been better. Is this like a mention of Nazi Germany and how they use meth to power their war machine? That is such a fucking myth. They did develop meth, but it wasn't anything special. Near the end of the war, everyone was getting drunk. That's not what... And they were getting drunk and they were taking opium. So kind of like a trailer park, which makes perfect sense if you ask me. Alright, we are back. Again, I am sorry about this whole weird camera angle going on here. This is literally the best we could do. Because for some reason, it decided that it doesn't want to be full screen. Options, graphics, windowed off, apply. There we go. Fucking hell, that was annoying. Who puts windowed mode on as a default anyway? I do like, one thing I'll say about this I do like you get how you get to play as a Big Daddy. Pretty much. It was the proto trailer park. Because like a lot of trailer parks start off with like modern convenience, and then within 10 years everything's gone to shit. As a bunch of brown and socialist people take over. Whoa. Hey, sexy... Wait, no, you're a little kid. Hey, cutie girl, want to come out and do horrible things with me? Don't worry, it's not sexual. They're just things against God. Wait, that doesn't help. It's not as creepy, though. Fuck you, Coral. Great Barrier Reef, Great Barrier Death. Yeah. Let's fix that then, shall we? That's probably the leftover graphics, yeah. When I was trying to fix the whole windowed mode. Okay, minimize. No. Quit. Yes. I know what the problem is. Right, I know what the problem is. Now you see, I made a mildly suggestive thing and you made it unfun because you made it too real. You made it very real. You see, you have to remember what tone is. Tone is the colour of skin after you've beaten it. Tone is when the blood flow stops. Alright, so... God damn, this is glitchier than I was expecting, I'm not gonna lie. If this keeps up, I'm not... What is your fucking problem? Play! It's not brain science, it's rocket surgery. I always like that one, it's not brain science, it's rocket surgery. I need a scalpel. Sir, it's a piece of metal. Scalpel, damn it! There's no pulse. I'm currently drinking, Sorcery Saison IPA. This looks promising. No, see what happened just there? Do you see what happened just there? It was working fine for a few seconds and it suddenly zooms in onto the little corner there. What is this fucking magic? Game capture. That's the fucker in question. Look at this. Why was the screen so big? It was that horrible Nosferatu game. That's the culprit. Play Dark Souls. I will eventually play Dark Souls on this, don't you fret. And now Bioshock. You know what Bioshock 2 doesn't like? It doesn't like when you minimize the screen. But we finally figured out what the issue was. Now all that matters is to minimize this. No. Oh my fuckwit god. The Lord of Fuckwit. No, 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 sorry, channeling wheel waiting there. Woo! Woo! Because I'm getting sick of all these technical glitches. Options. Graphics. Windowed mode, immediately on. For fuck's sake. What madness. What hellscape do they think we live in? Is it one of man's creation, or is it nature taking revenge? By the way, this is San stuff. Smells lovely. The can looks cool. It looks like some sort of... Actually, it wouldn't look out of place here in Bioshock. With the whole Art Deco vibe going on. Or is that Art Nouveau? Is it Art Nouveau or is it Art Deco that is going on in Rapture? But it tastes horrible. I'm not gonna lie. Alright. Now. There! It works! We're free! Free as a freeman once said, except he never talked in the entire game other than to go, ah! Yes, and by the way, I'm playing Half-Life 2 after this. Not the Half-Life 2 2, but Half-Life, Episode 2. Coral Reef, Coral Reef. I don't like nature, little girl. Wanna play? Fuck you, Coral. No one likes you. Drill is low on fuel. Oh yeah, I forgot you have to fuel the damn thing. That's something you never actually saw in the first game. Never saw them fueling up these things. Little sister. Or big sister, rather. Is it little sister? No, yeah, my bad. Lamb is watching. Lamb chop? I knew it! This is what happens when the song ends. It went on and on, my friend. We're not friends now, are we? If I'm right, I need to get the first plasmid. Plasmid! I can hear you. Eat potted meat. Potted meat, we can't call it spam. Press F for drill fuel. Just looking around for any goodies. In all fairness, this doesn't look like a fun spa. I mean, you're already in the water. Do you really want to go into a pool? Murder!
Stay dead this time.
You were a murderer, so I murdered you. I got me some money and some canned beans. How we doing for sound? Can you hear everything? Plasmids. Need dispenser. Something I don't need. Rapture's Rapture's breast and brightest. Elizabeth? Oh, wait, no, you're a more generic character. Drugs!
Daddy was sleeping for such a long time, and Eleanor has missed you. Find her and you'll be all better.
5 more minutes. God damn, go talk to your mother. Oh, thank you, honey. Someone give something to chat. Like in the corner, anything. Just to see it up on screen. There. Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Who are the big sisters? The big sisters are the MacGuffin of this one. They were made by Lamb to basically be a feminist icon. I don't get it myself. But yeah. Ooh, dollars. Scars, cigarettes, magazines. Okay, so we go back now and do this.
Leave me alone, you fuckers! I know!
Audrey, Michelle, nothing. Bastard.
The trick is to kill them. Activate the power of... I am the lightning god. Fear me.
At last, a signal. You, who are bringing this dead city to life, listen. My name, it is Tannenbaum. I
Sexy.
know who you are.
You single?
And I am in much need of your help. Please, find me in the Atlantic Express train station.
Atlantic Express train station. Oh, there's a recorder over here. Hey, listen.
Lesson 1, mop jockeys. You are under the ocean now. If you feel the soft patter of rain on your hat, you're already fired. Lesson 2. You can jumpstart a dead generator with a direct spark, but clear the guests out of the pool first. Scares these rich pricks to watch a working stiff hurling thunderbolts. You follow me?
Damn, Big Kate, you single? I've suddenly got... Wow, this guy's horny. He's... You know, he's a bachelor. Single Dan. Look at the party. Like electric scale where someone struck you and then got shocked, and then if you got shocked, yeah. I'm sure that might be in... well, I'm not sure it might be in this. That makes no sense. But it might be in it. Dames! Oh, I wonder who that kind of looks like. If only there was a post-apocalyptic game that could tell me. Ooh! Aspirin. Sorry. You get an E from aspirin? Really?
My home, out!
And she goes down for the wood to count.
I haven't had a taste of Adam in weeks.
This is Dr. Sophia
Shocking.
with a message for the people. Remember, you are not alone. Think of me not as leader, but as mother to the Rapture family.
Wow. You still suck. Bring back Andrew Ryan. He made libertarians hard online.
I am back in Rapture after so many years. The little ones I rescued are grown up. Won't think of me no more. After what I once did to them, it was a joy to be forgotten. But now, all around the world, children vanish by the sea, kidnapped. And so I return, in fear of what I already know. Someone is making new little ones, continuing my work, my sins. Even if I am to die for it, I must stop them.
She was a Nazi. I just want to point that out. They never really address it beyond like a passing fact, but the Nazis brought her to a concentration camp to be killed, and she pointed out how inefficient it was, so she made like a concentration camp more efficient. She's one of the good guys. So this game is Ayn Rand. Would you believe Ayn Rand years later discredited all this shit? She said that she was older and wiser, and a lot of what she wrote in Atlas Shrugged was just bullshit. And she understood that now. And yet people still hold this up as like, woo! But yeah, I mean, for Christ's sake, the main guy in the main one is called Andrew Ryan, for God's sake, you know? This is... Ooh, a rivet gun. Which is hilarious, because a real rivet gun doesn't work like this. Seriously, anyone who's ever tried to use a nail or rivet gun, they're nowhere near as fun as movies or games make them out to be. You need to actually push them up against something before firing. I always loved the TV in this. In the multiplayer opening cinematic, you got to see like Rapture TV in motion, and it was really cool looking. Oh God, what's up with all this lag?
Barely made it down alive. But here it is. And it's real. Rapture. This is where that thing took my poor baby girl. What I saw in the sub, most of the city's in ruins. But there were lights here and there. And shapes moving. I'm rambling, scared, I guess. But maybe, if I find this Dr. Lamb I keep hearing over the PA, I'll find Cindy too.
Maybe, just maybe, I'll get that role in Mad Men. Stay away, stay away. But it's okay to be gay. Let's see if we do something about this lag. Options. Okay. Now we save the game. And quit and start again. Because it requires us to restart this fucking thing again and again and again and again. This song fucking sucks. I actually like the I do like the music video to that song. That's some good shit. Oh, and quickly let's minimize this. It was a little bit on the big side. Boom. There. A fat bearded dragon is a happy bearded dragon. Amen, dragon. Amen. Continue! I'm a vampire now, I don't know why. Splicer is a term used to describe the inhabitants of Rapture whose excessive use of plasmids had wrecked their minds. I mean, these things can't be all that cheap. They can't be that cheap, either. I mean, you have to buy the atom first, which can't be cheap in and of itself. So, like, not everyone could be using it all the time. Suppose that's why they start stealing it from each other. Ugh. Is this the trade-off? Looks like shit now. Oh, it's just clipping in, I think. And here's our first pseudo-boss fight to show how kick-ass the sisters are. Yeah!
Big sister doesn't want you playing with me.
Whoa! She clipped right through me. She ain't all that. She doesn't know the power of guns. Ow. Or magic. Oh, she's got invulnerability frames. There we are. That's right, you pissed her right off.
This is Dr. Sophia Lamb with a message for the people. Remember,
This is the hottest July going into August on record ever, worldwide.
Your family.
But don't worry, guys. Climate change isn't real. This happens all the time. Something Ben Shapiro. Something Crowder. This is the first year. I said this on my Facebook not too long ago. This is the first year I actively feel... How do you use health? Option, what? Yeah, this is the first year I really do feel like it's... the climate change is affecting me personally. Control. That's a terrible picture for Andrew Ryan. Crendor! Aye?
And already I find myself seeking a respite from my vacation. She deems it necessary to chide me for working. The words dissolve into an endless animal bleat. I founded Rapture to be free of law and God.
Nah, women don't know how to do anything.
Work is our wage. Yet, when Diane speaks of bearing my child, I am given
I had to go out and get my shopping, go to the bank, do a bit of a walk. So I was in absolute bits when I got back. Second I got back though, I clonked out, and I only slept for about maybe 6 hours. I feel fine now though, so yeah. But oh, I had to upload that when I saw it though, because there's like a small time frame when people actually give a shit about Yahtzee's new games. So I had to quickly make up the thumbnail, play it, edit it. And as you can tell, I didn't do a very good job of it. It is a good game though. I'm looking forward to the next one. Ah, refresh. What the hell? Oh, come on. Bullshit. Hey, there was stuff at the beginning I cut off and stuff at the end. We will be reborn into the womb of the ocean. Oh my god. They're feminists. Rapture has become Tumblr. Oh, great. Now we're gonna get wood rot everywhere. This is kind of like the version of the water version of the sand. Oh, whoa. As you can tell, I'm still groggy as fuck. It doesn't help that I got up, I splashed some water on my face, and now I'm consuming alcohol. Fuck you, chair!
The ocean cannot harm you. This is good.
Even though pressure would
Rapture
clearly
is the
crush
death
you
of
into
many
bits.
great men. Alone, you will not last long. You can still reach the train station. Find me there.
Ooh! Recording. Sammy Fletcher.
Last entry. Lizzie and I, we found a sphere, and we're going home. Ain't that right, baby? Next stop, topside.
Oh, I love you. It was you who saved us, Sammy. It was you.
They might as well just be saying, wow, you're only 3 days away from retirement.
It's Lamb. Torpedo! I'm trying to...
I wasn't on that. I'm on the deep fried hot takes one. Then again, Paul isn't a big fan of Discord anyway, so to him that's nothing. Hiya, buddy. Maybe focus on your own task. Just saying. What was it? Did you see the debate last night? I was on the DFF server. By the way, that was the last day of Rabbit. Rabbit is now officially gone, folks. It's just a link to something called Crafts or something like that. Whatever it is, I'll miss you, Rabbit. You were some good shit. I was under the assumption you were in my room, Bill. Big shout out to that guy. What was his name? The Try Hard Sad or something like that. The troll who wanted me to click on the link, and then when I said no, he threatened me with powers I didn't have. And I was like, there's no God except for me. And then I just block him. Shark. Oh, trailer moment. Ladies and gentlemen, Rapture, a city that makes very little sense. but it's still really cool. I think it makes more sense to build Rapture than it does to build Columbia, to be honest with you. Whee! No. What was it? Yeah, DFF losing their shit was bad, but it looks like DP got a strike. So they're now on the underground channel until that's resolved. Oh, look at Miss Fancy over there. Cool science magic. This is cool science magic. Far more on the science than it is the magic part. They don't even really explain what the vigors are, how they came around. They're just there. At least this one has a whole... the backstory to the plasmids is one of the major ones of this game. The vigors are just there. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy Bioshock Infinite. I really do. But, yeah, no. Yeah, no, like, no. I'm afraid no. The more you look at it, the more it makes no sense. Don't even get me started on the time travel bullshit. You can't do a good time travel story. You can only do a good story that happens to have time travel in it. I stand by this argument. Oh, do they? Well, in all fairness, I did not play that DLC where you have to go back to Rapture. I know how they explain the modern music. But you know what that boils down to as well? A wizard did it.
You arrive, as the little one said you would.
Everything is just what Elizabeth can
To
do.
the ticket booth, and I will offer what I know of you.
You see, in that case, what's the point of them? They're there because they're expected to be there. Because the Psi amp is in System Shock. They could have done anything. Instead, they were like, oh, the fans want this exact same thing. It's almost like they're trying to desperately hide away from the Bioshock Infinite universe and just focusing right back here on Bioshock, which, don't get me wrong, both universes are fine, but this is clearly the stronger. Now, if they tied it into the System Shock universe, I would be fucking ecstatic. Like, I would just be thrilled if you ended up on the Rickenbacker, or the Von Braun. That would be some good shit. But with Elizabeth, technically you could show up in the Star Wars universe, or, anything, really.
Now most who survive are like this. Splicers. They're drug addicts. Vicious animals.
Oh, get it? Takes Adam. Well, it really depends. If you inject him, if you inject Adam into you anally, yeah, it's a little gay. It's a little gay. This is a cool little feature. I think it does, because you know, it's the same stupid question as is are traps gay, you know? If you're gonna go down that path of insanity, then technically, why not? Ah, the sentry bots. The fucking mosquitoes of this game universe. What the fuck? Don't you be dying on me. Great. I got the only one that has seizures from time to time. You were made in, like, America, weren't you? I'm just gonna suggest that. Proud American tradition of making shit that don't work. No! All the train enthusiasts will be so sad. Shift, huh? Yay! Okie dokie.
Andrew Ryan is dead, but the tyrant dwells within us all. Remember, we reject the gene. We reject the self. We reject the tyrant.
That's why, as your glorious tyrant, I will ensure that no tyrants will ever tyrannicize you. All hail your tyrant for life. Well, it'll definitely make you happy, won't it? I mean, gaming's happy and happy me. 111! 111! Evan, 111. Oh, I'm trying to get Evan on for one of these Wasted Wednesdays, by the way. The fuck is that? How, in all fairness, can it fly when its rotors are clipping off the side of buildings? I'm just... That's not how anything works. Pardon me, boy. Is this the Chattanooga choo-choo? No. Guess not. Track 29. Kinda makes me want to play Railroad Tycoon. That was a good game. I did like playing that on this, mostly for the soundtrack. Oh, sweet Christ, that's a glorious soundtrack. Oh, look, it's a metaphor. I might as well be playing Binding of Isaac, because I'm in someone's meat walls. And just like a woman's meat walls, it rejects me. Stop saying meat walls. Maybe meat wad, though.
I know you. That symbol on your hand marks you a dead man. 10 years, Subject Delta, since I watched you put a gun to your head and pull the trigger. But take heart.
I got a cool scar out of it.
Pain, paradise was born. I don't know how you survived, but your
She's got Shatner eyes going on there.
These men will ease your burden. Please understand that like all I have done, this is an act of love.
It is Sophia Lamb. She has found you.
She is, but seeing how she's like a militant feminist, she's probably a lesbian. I mean, that won't stop her from possibly fucking you to prove her dominance, because she's a... Oh. Whee! But let's just say that she wouldn't be the best partner in the whole wide world. Manoid. Control. Oh, you can't. That sucks. So, Bill, militant feminist. No, that's... No, I mean, that's how I've always seen her. She has this sort of, you know those sort of female writers from the 20s who were just, like, fuck men? That became later on, like, feminist icons. Some of which got really aggressive. I think that's what she's heavily inspired by. That's Sophia Lamb, though, right there.
Now you know
Tenenbaum looks
enemy we
like a
share.
wreck. I like this.
Sophia
She
Lamb.
looks like she has been living in
The
a...
camera in your helmet allows
An
me
underwater
to watch
dystopia.
through your eyes and help you to fight her.
I didn't address this earlier when you were in the toilets, but yes, I see everything you do. By the way, wunderbar. No, but the daughter is just Elizabeth with a different name. I think she's like I think she's the inspiration for Elizabeth at later the later games. But I find her so bland. She couldn't be anything. Even her accent is weird. It's like posh English, but it's not even proper posh English. Like, I've met real toffs, like Lady and Lord such and such of such and such. It's a long story, but they don't sound like that. They don't sound like this. They don't sound like an American or a Canadian trying to do that voice. It's just... blah, blah. I will rip this game apart because it has so many flaws in it, but I don't think it's a bad game. I just think it's the weakest of the series. That's all. Father! You know what she reminds me of? The Visari from the Killzone. His daughter. She has the exact same voice. Except he's voiced by Brian Blessed. Oh no, he's voiced by Michael Gambon, isn't he? Is it Brian Blessed or Michael Gambon that he's voiced by? One of those classic British stage actors that make us feel glad to be alive.
Security cameras belong to Lamb. But if you are clever, they can be made to serve you.
Yeah, but I'm not clever. I blew it up because I'm a man. I like how that one guy's voice, he kind of sounds like Patrick from SpongeBob. Thank you for doing your job. Alright, unlike most Wasted Wednesdays, I'm actually going to get pissed in this one. So, let's crack open. The next bottle on the list, and the last of the fancy beer, is a good old Duval. Anyone knows what a Belgian beer is? Oh, this is the poster child for all Belgian beers. Also, I love the glass they give you in some of those like special packs. You get like a pack of 3 of them and a glass. The glass is like beautifully fluted. I love the era that I'm living in for craft beer. But I mean, some of these ones weren't craft beer, they were just the local beer you got. And then they're like, hey, if we sell them overseas, we can call them craft beers and charge 5 times more. Which is shit, except for when it's like super strong, then. Ooh. It absolutely is. It's very common here in the UK because obviously we're right next to Belgium. I would imagine it has quite the price tag in Canada, but I highly recommend it. It's smooth. It's got, what's the percentage of it on the back? It's 8.5. So it comes in a little tiny sort of beehive bottle. Kinda looks from a distance like the one that Ben from DP always drinks, kombucha, which we can't get over here.
Father, it's me.
A character from The Sims 3.
I can feel it. Mother won't be able to toy with you like that ever again. This plasmid is for you. If I'm right, you can use it now.
Where you are, Bill?
Find me.
Yeah, but if your travel plans work out, you should be able to pick it up at your new home. Polish beers. Oh, there's some good stuff. I'll try it once just to say I've tried it. I hear it's not even all that strong, is it? But like I said, I'll... You know, I forgot this was a thing back in the day. Potted meat. These tubes. Until Futurama came out, and I'm like, oh my god! I forgot those tube things! Aww. I do like how the little sisters are your support team in these games. You don't get that in Infinite. You've got Elizabeth, who is indestructible, will supply you with endless supplies of ammunition, summon guns. She's a little bit overpowered.
Throw objects at foes. You can even catch grenades and throw them back.
Domestic violence is fun. Alright, let's try it again. No? Oh, fuck it. Well, I did that in the wrong order. Still, I got some potted meat. That's pretty cool. Oh, have you seen some cosplayers of the Big Daddies and Little Sisters? I always find the best cosplayers are either brother and sister teams or couples. Like, the Little Sisters can look just fucking disturbed. And then the Big Daddies, depending on how much effort they've put in the suits. I heard one guy who did it took one of those 40k Space Marine power armors and then altered that. Like, they got rid of the shoulder pads and everything, and they strapped on different stuff, including like an actual diving helmet. So it must have weighed a bazillion tons. That would be cool. That's like, pairs are great. There's these boyfriend girlfriend team. I think they're actually married now, but they often go to cons like Nebraska Con, Nebraska Comic Con. They go, and I just want some more of this Duval. They go dressed up as characters from like Borderlands or 13. And the effort they put into to make them look like the cel-shaded characters, it's insane. You think that like these shadows are following them at all times. It's weird. Well, the suit was designed for a Space Marine, but I don't know if he was actually doing it. The best Space Marine ones I ever saw was 2 teachers from different school districts. One went as an Ultramarine, another one went as like a word bearer, and they didn't know they were going to the same convention. And when they went to the same convention, there's just a great picture of the 2 staring at each other with their arms stretched out at the cafeteria, and like one's got like a bottle of beer, the other's got like a tray of food, and they just like pose for pictures, and it's great. But they're huge. Like, there's this normal looking girl just taking a picture behind them, and she looks like a child. They must be on stilts. Those shoes must have like stilts put on them or something, or like massive platforms rather, not stilts. That would be terrifying.
There would be no Rapture without me. No city without the Atlantic Express.
Hi, Steve.
Ryan took his first grand tour.
Listen very closely. That's Steve Glub.
These days,
or Nolan.
Personal bathyspheres are all the rage.
Oh.
My rails only connect the oldest parts of Rapture now. And the city's just left me behind. Plenty of cash in the
Not in the cafeteria. Even superhumans need their noms. To answer your question there, Bill, we love cold beer, but the difference is stout. We don't drink stout cold. We drink that room temperature. We also don't drink a lot of wines cold, but not all wines. White wine, for example, we do drink room temperature. And no, we do drink cold. Not frozen. Dude, don't make me play Dawn of War 2 at you. Steve will be in that as well. Making whoopee. Flabbergast! Flabbergast! Oh, right in the face. Yoink, yoink. That's a great spot to freeze on. You all think you're something? With your masks and your ability to not forget how to do shit. Or, no bullets. Yes. What? That guy right there. Hold on. That voice actor that we were listening to just there, that sounded like fucking Spike from Outlaw Star. So, if that's not him, who the fuck was it? He was putting on a fancy man voice. So how do you change plasmids? Alright, now you clearly know your voice actors better than me. Do remind me who those two are. How do you bring up... Okay.
There would be no Rapture without me. No city without the Atlantic Express.
Prentice Mill.
Took his first grand tour on my flagship coach. These days, personal bathyspheres are all the rage.
Down the corner.
My rails only connect the oldest parts of Rapture now. And the city's just left me behind. Plenty of cash in the bank, though.
Oh, cool.
This private vehicle craze.
That looked like a very fun game. I liked how... You know one thing I like about the Spider-Man games? And hell, the Spider-Man movies, that they give all the villains equal share time. Like, who thought in the movie Homecoming the Vulture would play as a decent character? He was so boring looking. Robert Pike Daniel. Really? There's just something to him that I'm like, oh, that's the dude from Dawn of War. Putting on an accent. Well, my age of buying off really good games are almost finished now. That's a Sursa toilet. And of course someone jams in some fuel down in the toilet. Alright. Makes no sense, but whatever. Yeah, like, I can't believe that, I can't believe that all these games are still there for me yet to play, but I won't get the chance to. I've already got half of the money I need to get myself a new laptop. Once I get a new laptop, the PS4 is going, so no more console. And I've got some people interested in buying off this very laptop, this very computer. When that happens, gaming on this channel is probably going to die off for a while. Now that if the laptop can play basic games, you might see me play Minecraft, Stardew Valley, maybe Skyrim at the most. Like older games, fun games, but at the exact same time, I can't really spare the memory. You know? I mean, with this trip coming up, fuck me. That is not one of my priorities. I was actually saying this to Metal Monkey yesterday. Today. When we were up at the shops. He's like, won't you miss this, that, and the other? How are you gonna play this, that, and the other? I'm like, dude, you do realize playing games is no longer a priority for me. It sucks, but, you know, I've got to focus more on making sure I have a roof over my head.
White is not black, Dr. Lamb. Down is not
I played the first.
straw is not gold.
Did I?
Look around you.
A little bit.
Rapture is no
I did.
miracle. It is a product of reason. Impossible unless 1 and 1 are 2, and A equates to A.
And yet, alone, each man is a prisoner to bias, dream, delusion, or the pain of a phantom limb. To one man, they are as real as rain. Reality is consensus, and the people are losing faith.
Alright, cool.
Take a walk, Andrew. It is raining in Rapture, and you have simply chosen not to notice.
Listen to this shit. This is what I mean. She's apparently like a real threat to Ryan, but she's never once brought up in the first game. And it also makes no sense because she's not saying anything that he wouldn't like. Let her spout her techno-babble. Her psycho-babble, rather. Like, why the hell wouldn't he care? Why the hell would he care? Alright, I need to remember how to, there we are. Q, for the record. So just think, awesome super god alien. Speaking of Q, Picard, new show. Any thoughts? Haven't seen, I've seen the trailer. I want to stay optimistic. Patrick Stewart does not make everything right. I've seen shit he's in. Like, stuff most, like, Americans haven't seen. She imports the Bible not because she supports Christianity, but because she supports spirituality, and eventually she bans the Bible as well.
Adam. I've read the word splicer scribbled on walls like a warning. One of them cornered me and Christ, his face. I had a gun, but I choked. And then out of nowhere, we both heard this singing. And he took off like hell on wheels. It sounded like a kid. A little girl. Cindy's alive.
I think that's actually not a bad idea, not to focus it 100... Patrick Stewart, yeah, he did. He did. And he also did a show... He did a few, like, period dramas over here that are absolutely abysmal. Not I, Claudius. I, Claudius was fantastic. He plays Sejanus in that. You ever want to see what Patrick Stewart looks like with a Jufro going on? Check that shit out. Plus, he fucks a girl in it, and it's kind of not hot, but I'm sure there's some there's some girls and guys out there with DILF fetishes that were like, ooh, do want.
Sophia Lamb is using the splicers against
hold on, let's get the Wonder Kid out of here first.
Guarding the little ones. But someone has awakened you.
Good for someone else. Yeah, the Picard thing, you're right, Krendar, it does look very focused on him, but I think that's a good idea, because quite honestly, Patrick Stewart is old, and so is Picard. I don't think it would be a good idea to 100% focus on him as, like... He was never really all that much of an action captain. That was Kirk. That was Sisko. I mean, Sisko was a war leader. Kirk was a raping lunatic. Yeah, I know. All you need, all you need to do is just put on a fake accent, and suddenly you get a role in this game. Who knew? But I'm curious to see, though, what I don't want it to be is just a list of, hi, kids from the 90s, you remember this? Here's this. I don't want to see that. If I see that, I know what this show will be. It won't have a decent story. It won't be able to hang up on its own. It will just be a list of things that are just, this is something you remember. Here's Dana. Here's 7 of 9. Here's Geordie LaForge. And I'm just there like, stop it, please. I do too. As you must have noticed by now, I sometimes put on crazy ass accents. It helps that I've always been surrounded by different accents. I know us Americans, famous as they are for being a nation of immigrants, don't always have the accents to work with. Ireland, though, we must have about maybe 12 accents on average, particularly in Dublin, to work with. So you pick shit up. You pick shit up. Like, I can tell the difference between a Polish person and a Russian person based on their accent. It's about their speed it's about the speed of how they talk, I always find. Polish people talk faster than Russians.
I know of your
Obviously, they're all
bond
speaking
with
English,
Eleanor
by the way. I'm
Delta.
not saying I
To
can
save
understand the language.
yourself, you will come for her. But Eleanor has a destiny, one you cannot share. There is no place for you in paradise.
Alright. I was in a show for while we were streaming a tabletop RPG, playing a guy with a terrible Russian accent. It is so easy to remember. Terrible Russian accent. Just watch any Michael Bay film from 90s. You know? Elena. Eleanor! I always liked how FDR always said his wife's name. Eleanor!
In ethical psychiatry, we must account for the role of evolution. Depression, fits of panic, sexual pathos. All responses to ancient selection pressure.
You know what she reminds me of? She reminds me of the Honored Matre from Dune.
They mistake my study of natural law for the worship of
Now there's a nerd quote if you're ever going to hear one.
One must know the beast before it can be slain.
I hate war! Yeah, I do love, there's a mod for Hearts of Iron 4 that when the historical criteria are met, you can play the actual recordings in the background of like the radio interviews and statements. But that's Teddy Roosevelt. Bully! His accent was a little bit different. You don't have that many things to go by. He had a sort of gruffer voice. He was cool. Yeah, I think he was like the last genuinely fun president. Yeah, I don't think he was a great human being. But you know, like if at the time I would have so voted for him. The circus of value. Well, absolutely. You even have to say it weird. You have to say Roosevelts, not just Roosevelts. It's Roosevelts. Yeah. I also love the music there. I know he gets a lot of flack for making boring shit, but Ken Burns made a really interesting, to me, documentary on the Roosevelts, and that soundtrack that you hear for the Americans in the modern age, it's a very famous song. It's a very relaxed song. It's so American to me. Incredibly unsettling clown voice. Well, you've got a choice. You got unsettling clown voice, or you got racist Mexican voice. This, of course, was at a time when everyone thought that clowns were funny. I mean, look at that guy's eyes. He's not having a good time. No clown is. I smoked weed once with a girl in oh god, what country was it? Spain, Portugal. No, not Portugal. Sorry, the Canary Islands, so Spain. And she had been a clown for a few years. She was quite young, and we were at this big party, and everyone was lighting up. She actually was English, but she had been living there for like 20 years. And she said, yeah, she knew some older clowns, and they were just the saddest people she ever met. They there's do you remember Inside Out, the Disney film, where they showed like your emotions as like the controllers of this massive machine that is your body. I liked at the end of it, during the mid-credits sting going on, it showed everyone's different emotions, and it cut to a clown, and it just shows all the emotions are sad-looking clowns, and then one just goes, 5 years of art school for this. You know, like, you take a job of being a clown because there's no other... you've got nothing else to do. You don't even put it on your CV. You're in between... Not even jobs, but like lifestyle choices. You know? Do you drink yourself to an early death, or do you find Jesus? You meet a clown, you tip them well, or else there's going to be a clown-shaped corpse in their crappy little apartment. A big shout out to anyone who's like does clowning for a living and actually likes it. I'm sure they're out there, but my Christ, I was not a kid who enjoyed clowns. Anyone watching now enjoyed clowns growing up? It's not that I had like a fear of clowns and all, that's a genuine thing. Jesus. That's a dart gun. Like, when I grew up, I found clowns obnoxious and weird. I like magicians. They were cool. You never liked anyone in a costume? Well, you clearly like face masks. Now in all fairness, a juggalo might very well be a clown in theory. They did! Oh, they were always playing a role. A clown, I had a birthday party at this really great little diner. Little diner, be damned, it's fairly popular in Temple Bar in Dublin. No, it wasn't a birthday, sorry, it was the... It was my confirmation, because obviously I was raised a Catholic because I'm Irish, and I went to we went there and they had a clown there, and they made me a they made us all like headpieces based off like Power Rangers. I mean, like employees dresses, yeah. But like, don't like I don't feel anything but embarrassed for them. They just have to. That just comes with the territory, you know. They have to put on the stupid little cat ears or the face paint. I mean, that's fine. It's other shit. I'm hearing a tinkling noise. Now, I'm not pissing myself. That must mean that there's something special around here. Now, would you believe we actually don't have that many mascots around here? We don't have the mascots like the way Americans do. Oh, there it is. That's the tinkling noise. Americans or Canadians, obviously. But, enjoy the present I left for yous. Exactly, and you could argue a clown is as well, but a clown is usually an actor in some way, like a professional clown.
You are a very
I like how
old
these
Big
days
Daddy,
they're like
bonded for
playing
life to a
characters,
single little
like
one.
Elsa or
If they
Iron
are
Man
apart for
for
too
like
long,
little kids'
your body
birthdays.
begins to
They're bringing
shut
the
down
Disney
like a
princesses
coma.
out. That's
As long
cool.
as the girl is in
I'm cool with
rapture,
that.
you are trapped here as
I
well.
imagine if I had a little like
The name of your
5-year-old
little
kid and she wanted to meet
Eleanor Lamb,
Elsa
daughter
for
of
her
Sophia.
birthday. Yeah.
She is kept at Fontaine Futuristics
Oh,
on
shit.
the other side of the city. You must go
This
there
I just
and
realized
save her
all
before it's
System
too
Shock
late.
games, all Shock games, they love this. They love doing the elevator where you get to see something. Every one of them. Bioshock Infinite, when you go to what's his name, Fink. When you go to Fink Industries, you get to see a scene that's right out of a really famous Russian art house film called Strike, from 1901. It's just scene to scene representing it, which makes sense seeing the horrors that they live in. But yeah, the reason I went oh shit was because up at the cinema in Carrick, it's a pretty big cinema. There is no, it's not Carrick, is it? It's back in Swords, where I'm living. You think that now, for the record, but I mean, like, when you were really young, you might have actually thought it was. Or maybe you didn't. I honestly did think, for once I met Hulk Hogan, which, you know, he was a real person, so there's a chance I could have met him, but I doubt it. I don't think he ever did come to Ireland. But I do remember this guy posing next to people. Never asked me ma that. Next time I have a conversation with her, I'll bring it up. But I don't think she'd have paid that much attention. She was probably having a smoke in the waiting area. She loves that. She loves her Dunhill. But yeah, the reason we know shit, back in Swords, there is a big mall, and in the mall there's a huge movie theater. I was never in a place like that when I was that young. Oh no, it happens. I mean, you bring the parents come with, obviously, but there is this dude who goes around as Spider-Man, and his friend goes around as Batman, and they pose next to anytime something Marvel or DC happens. Regardless of whether or not those characters are in the movie, they show up and they pose next to, like, people before the show. The thing is that they don't just do it for kids, they also do it for adults. Like, you take your picture next to them, next to the guy before it goes in. Now, if I was standing next to this dude, I'd turn to him and say, like, so how long have you been doing this gig? Like, how did you get into it? Did you study anywhere? And he's like, oh, well, actually. We'd go into this huge conversation. Off a costume, and then you find a creature bred to fit the suit, and you've just skinned them. Oh, and then you're like, so like you're standing next to this dude who's like Spider-Man, like one of those people outside like the Chinese theater in Hollywood or Times Square, and you just you just go like. You're really drunk and you're being obnoxious and you go like, hey man, I want to see what's under the mask. Let's see the face. And he's like, no, wait, no, seriously, you... Oh man, I didn't even think... That's horrific. You're literally ripping his face off, and underneath is this pseudo-human abomination of like wires and coils and this pulsating meat and blood's pouring down, and his eyes don't have any irises, they're just like milky white, and he's screaming but he's got no teeth. Fuck yes! Oh, someone has to do something like what's that? College Humor should do something like that, or something. One of those channels along those lines should. No, please! Code yellow! His handler is just talking to this hot tourist girl, and he's like, yeah, sure, so I know this really cool band that's playing tonight, if you're interested. We can meet here if you want. Huh? Oh yeah, she's sure there. Jerry. That's not his real name. We give them numbers at birth when they leave the hatching chamber. Oh god, I'm gonna lose my job. And all these kids are screaming. People are filming. Yes. Because, you see, I didn't think of that, so now I can't not think of that. That is, like, a whole scenario. There'd be a whole industry of, like, tired of paying struggling actors? Oh, you need, like, a snazzy name for the sort of meat puppets that they would be. Envirocast, maybe. Okay, we need to hurl something at... oh, the body will do nicely. Pachoo! What the fuck? Well, fuck you! Yoink. Up! Man beats mine. And now we go back to the Circus of Value, which started this whole sort of chain of thought. Yeah, it should have like this. It should almost be like a sports car sort of ad. Sleek, elegant, custom made. Whatever you want, whatever personality. Of course, some crazy person would actually make them believe that they were Spider-Man. Like, if they had the money, they'd create like some sort of horrible death trap for them. When I was a kid, my dad beat me. Every time he'd take out the belt, I'd hide in the corner and say, "Don't worry, Spider-Man will come to save me." But he never did. Later on I realized he wasn't real. To that I say, no. No, he will be real. And he will answer for his crimes. The money, the women, the political power, it's all been boiling down to this one moment. I love comedy. I love humor that you take and you can just roll with it forever. Which hatches into a custom creature a couple of days later. You get like a training video, and it's like this B-rate actor. Back in the 90s, it probably would have been Nick Nolte. Oh, and welcome to your custom-made character. During this step-by-step problem, hold on, he coughs up to like a lung. In this step-by-step training video, I'll show you how to prepare your character. These are the items you'll need. Oh God, I'm so hungover. Nowadays it'd be Shia LaBeouf. Grow! He's just screaming at the cocoon. Fucking grow! Yes, Krendar, you got what I'm going for. Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You might remember me from such films as... Oh, absolutely. It'll be like a very dark version of Bicentennial Man. The book, not the actual horrible movie with Robin Williams, R.I.P. There's another example of an actor who was a fantastic actor sometimes, but other times he was in pure shit. It would be like Detroit becoming human, but without the emotions. You know, you can get great premises, but, biothralls! We should call them biothralls. Kind of like in Stellaris, you can build biothralls. They don't revolt, though, I noticed that. Okay, where is this fucking camera? Emotions. Oh, did you see Activision?
Here, in the ticket booth. Press the button so we can speak face to face.
All right, first things first. Let's listen to terrible acting German lady. Yeah. Guten Tag.
You see, this is why I must fight Sophia Lamb.
It's plain Jane.
Using the new little ones for something.
Does he?
I have returned to rescue
Cool.
them. If I do not, more children will die for my sins. And the rapture nightmare will repeat forever.
It's like a paste that's pretty much soy. Oh, it's like out of Atlas Shrugged, the girls who work at the McDonald's ripoff.
It is a beast apart, and as family, we must tear out
So it's the little juice stuff.
drive it back into the sea.
Howdy, Short Bus.
Lamb will take this place apart to find you. Please hold back this splicer.
She used to have a big like cigarette holder and like was just puffing away, but she doesn't want to smoke around the kids. They feed naughty children who don't pay the park rules. Nah, we have to keep this into like a level of realism. I think that they, the defective ones or the old ones that are like outdated, they only have a shelf. You see, they're smart. They only have a shelf life of about 5 years, and you have to renew them. And then the old ones are sent back and are turned into a processed juice that they then come out, and you get a huge pack of them. And they're so well built that they don't actually need that much food. Like, maybe they only need like 4 feedings a year. And they only need to sleep 4 times a year. They're like put in storage, and like you put a drip feed into them. But that feed is made out of their old like bodies, the older ones. And they're not told this because they have a level of sentience. Because the only way they can play their roles is by having sentience. Because that is something I never liked in, like, why did the robots rise up? Well, because you gave them sentience. Why the fuck did you give them sentience in the first place? Yeah, biojuice. There's probably people on YouTube who try biojuice as like the same way that people try breast milk or like cat food or baby food. Like, tasting videos. Ow, 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 ow. Ha-ha! Fleetwood! Where the fuck are you going? He fell down. Why is he not getting back up, mommy? He's just sleeping, dear. Shit. Bye out, B. Alright. Come to my aid, flying god. Ow. Yeah, you would unbox your new Biothrall. And there'd be adult versions, of course, because they'd be insane not to. It actually, you know what, it'd be more like AI. Where the robots, have gained, like, a level of sentience, but they're also, still, like, desperate to please humanity. Except in this case, they're not aware that they're, No, you gotta get the box first. Inside is the cocoon.
I am sorry for this, but there are others I must help before the city drowns. This man Sinclair, he is an ally, and will guide you to Eleanor. Goodbye, Herr Delta. And good luck.
Neat.
Well, look at you.
I do declare.
In armor, complete with iron horse.
Yeehaw, Iron Shield.
Sinclair Sport, Esquire.
I'm the guy from Oh Brother Where Art Thou that was eventually played by
the very same place
John Goodman.
You'll find Eleanor Lamb. I think you and I can do business. Take the train to Ryan Amusements. I'll see you shortly.
Oh yes, yes please. Pretty much. Then you have to, you get like a machine or a little like pseudo-bio machine that you then put like a slot card in. And that slot card is the character's personality. And then you store it in like a closet for 2 days. No sunlight. But you get like an app on your phone that you then check. And in it is the progress of it. With live updates and healthcare centers, like my Biothrall has an extra arm. Is that normal? You know, like, and eventually the Biothrall stands up and is like, and you have to quickly say a phrase, and their mind will focus on that phrase, and then their programming will start. Jimmicky Chillikers, Batman, where am I? Oh, Robin, don't worry. Now put on the outfit and oil yourself up this time. Well, that'll just void the warranty, won't it? Oh, we can make that shit work. Like, grow your own human. Hell, forget human. You could, like, bring back your dog from the grave. That one would be kind of messed up, but at the exact same time kind of sad. Actually, there's something. If you could bring back your dead pets, would you? Sorry if this is like a tonal shift or anything like that. It's just, I've heard people talk about this before, and the actual answer to I'd say is no. No, it wouldn't be my Chelsea, my Tara, my Goldie, my Scrabbles. It would just be a cat or a dog that looked exactly like them. And then I could just get another dog or cat that was in need of a home. But other people, especially people who just lost their pets, might think differently. So what do you all guys think? Would you, if you lost your pet, say, within a week of it, and, like a pet all your life, would you, they'd bring back the DNA of it as a puppy or a kitten or, Alright, fair enough there, Bill, but you don't be so literal. Like, have you ever had a pet that you really loved that died? My last one was 3 years ago, I think. My ma has a little puppy now by the name of Coco. I think Coco's appeared on this show once or twice. But when she got that, I was thinking, in 10 years' time, you're going to have to go through this whole process all over again, because they were absolutely gutted. It really does, doesn't it? It really seems like something, without thinking about it, makes a level of sense, but the more you think about it, the more you're like, no. Get another pet. Learn to live without an animal. You know, you don't need to actually go through with this shit. But, you know, other people might have different opinions, that's why I ask.
Sophia Lamb has taken Rapture.
I imagine real dicks would prey on the emotions, like the second your animal died. The algorithm on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter. Did you just lose a loved one? Our four-legged friends are there for us, but we know that one day they'll die and we'll live. What if that's not the case? Here at Gene Tech, you can see what I'm doing. All we need is a simple DNA sample, and we can bring your loved one back to life. And it shows like this happy family and this little kid hugging this dog. Patches! Where did you go? Oh, he was only away for a little bit, honey. Like, you see, like, people would play in on that, because human nature is dickish like that. That, I think, is more shitty than the biothralls, quite honestly with you. Like, that, I honestly think is more shitty. It does, doesn't it? Because the biothralls, you could argue, never existed in the first place. But this is playing on people who are alive, who actively are being fucked with. Well, sure, but they're intentionally meant to die off. It's like the phone that only lasts so many years. I don't think they'd be zombie-like. I think they'd literally decay in your arm. They'd be like, anyone ever see the Powerpuff Girls special where this con man stole Chemical X, but he didn't have enough of it, so he spliced it in with other shit, and he creates these weird, malformed, but super easy to produce versions of the Powerpuff Girls that he then sold at a low price, but they failed to do like anything practical. During the ad, for example, it showed like a bank robber holding up money. The Powerpuff Girls got me $2.4 million because they like explode, or they have one arm or one eye, and they're just running around going like, yeah. Like, that shit was... that could happen, but I mean, that's it. That would... I actually like the idea of, like, it being human intention that they fuck up. I like the idea of them mentally decaying, though. Like, after a while, they'll start to turn violent or suicidal.
As you can see, Chief, the station here's iced over. To reach Eleanor Lamb at Fontaine headquarters, we'll have to clear the way. Now, in order to melt that ice, you'll need
you need to get some things that burn, and then light a match, and that should do it.
An old product called Incinerate in the amusement park up yonder. Go on and find a way in. I've already been on all the rides.
What is it? It kind of reminds me of... this is going to get really depressing, so I'm going to need a drink first. There's footage of, you know, those bears you see in, like, European zoos and, like, so-called rescue centers. There are some bears that, when they're found, they've been abused. They've been, like, made to dance, or they've been used in bear biting matches with dogs. And their minds are completely broken. And, like, there's footage of them just slamming their heads off against the wall or rocking back and forth on their paws. I imagine that would happen to those bio animals, the bio pets, near the end of their lives. They'd just, like, do one motion over and over again. Or they'd kind of just forget to eat or breathe or just die in a pile of their own shit. And it would just be so horrific. And it would start, like, all this legal ramification, and Gene Tech would be like, well, if you look at the fine print, this is like, they're on, like, a CNN sort of talking head show. If you look at the fine print, it clearly states that we promise 2 to 5 years of active pet involvement. Now, at the 2-year mark, if they start to decay, well, frankly, we can't be held responsible. The owners should have been knowing what they were getting into in the first place. What about the case last week where the little girl was mauled to death by her dog? Hey. It's not our fault that they decided to get such a violent dog breed. You can see, like, this is too real. I like the idea of science fiction entering hardcore fact, of, like, people fucking with it. It's kind of like Weyland Yutani meets the Xenomorphs, and the first thing they can do, oh, we can weaponize this shit. Quick, send down a bunch of ships. Yeah, pretty much. They'll get the Congress to pass, like, the post-life pet bill, you know, where companies can no longer... They have to put a warning on the label, like cigarettes. Your reanimated pet may maul your face off or commit acts of self-mutilation. Gene Tech is not held, or its subsidiaries is not held responsible. And then there'd be people online going, the sort of pro-company people, like the ones who support gaming industry being a horrible piece of fucking shit. I imagine they'd be the ones who'd be going like, well, they should have known in the first place. I don't know why I gave him a Sargon accent, but there you have it. Yeah, but it's underneath the fur, so you can't see it unless you shave off the fur. Oh. They put enough effort to genetically add that into the back of the neck, but they didn't do it to fix it. Oh my god, I just realized how deep this could go. People disfranchised with that could start up their own sort of like craft beer-esque companies making biopets that don't break, but cost more. Here at Free Gene, we have a motto: high quality and sustainable industry. You know, like their little Kickstarter campaign to let animals to bring back animals that don't break down within 5 years. We promise our pets won't rip themselves apart at least until the 10-year mark. allowing a full decade of love and happiness for your forgotten pet. And of course, with our golden package, you can then immediately restore them back to life, making sure for the rest of your own natural life, you'll never be without your four-legged friend. Warning, the Surgeon General of America, Glub. Just goes this huge blurb at the end of it. I wonder what happens if you eat one of them. Probably start like coughing up black bile and go blind. I agree. Fuck you, clown. Did I throw money at him? I'm gonna kill this dude with a wad of bills. It's gonna be a metaphor for... Oh, even better, a cash register! Here's Andrew Ryan's free market for you. I even love how he died. Typical.
Welcome to Ryan Amusement. Insert your ticket now. Half price for children under 3.
That guy sounds oddly familiar. But because of the genetic decay, you age far quicker. So, fur starts sprouting all over your body, but you're also aging rapidly. You're dying in dog years, basically. Especially if you're an older person, like if a 50-year-old were to eat.
A rare old model, son.
I imagine Asian people would outlaw that.
Now, Rapture's full of scientific
but it's true.
Just like you.
There
And
are
if
countries
we can
that
sell
eat
it
dog.
to the world at my price, well, curing your condition ought to be a cakewalk. Once we find Eleanor, the sky's the limit.
I imagine they would be like purists as well, who don't let their dogs come back and pets come back from life, like normal people. But they'd start getting like heirs. Like, oh god, I wouldn't do that. It's just so blasé. Oh, you're shitting me. Alright, you know what? I'm enjoying this game and everything, but fuck it. We're gonna talk for the rest of this stream. If this game wants to keep crashing on me, fine. It won't let me enjoy a game I'm actually enjoying, fine. I am still a happy bearded dragon because we're having a conversation here, damn it. Exactly. They've missed the point of it entirely. It's not just that it's terrible. Sure, it's cheap to do and you can, you know, like it hurts. It hurts so badly when they die. But I mean, come on. We're creating a movie, be damned. The movie wouldn't get this world together. We're creating like a mini-series they should put on Netflix. Like, this is a workshop that's happening right here. By the way, has anyone actually ever been in a workshop? I was once in college. It was one of the best experiences of my life. You literally just throw any old shit at the wall, but then you have to describe the shit, and the wall, and the motion of throwing, and the person who's throwing the shit. It's just... it's brilliant. Like, so this is, like... this is shit I adore. And this is why I don't care that the game keeps fucking crashing. Fucking piece of shit. But yeah, so... by the way, after this, I'm going to play some Half-Life Episode 2. Oh, and by the way, if you're enjoying the stream, give it a like and a share and all that. Even this at the end, I'm low-energy videos. I don't care if the game crashes. Hell, like 2 weeks ago, I showed people my shopping list. You know, like... what beer I'm going to pick up. But anyway, yeah, like... I love the idea of not just a crazy idea, but really breaking it down and then trying to make it work. I think the best comedy are ones that are like, almost make the crazy mundane, you know? By the way, I'll make this a full 2 hours. So we got about 11 minutes of just talking bullshit. So, saying that, how's everyone doing? Like, how is everyone today? Is everyone good? Almost finished with Duval. We've got a little story here on the back of the bottle. On the bottom of every Duval glass, you will find an engraved letter D for the dick. No insignificant detail or ornamentation, but the launching pad of a rocket. I've finally structured bubbles. Okay. Fascinating to look at and essential for the formation of Duval's characteristics head. Perfection is in the detail. True that. See what I mean? Like, if you got your biopet from one of those hipster... If you got your biopet from one of those hipster gene labs, it would have something like that. Each box has a date of birth. We believe we're not creating a product, but we're bringing something to life, or re-life in this case. Streamed a new game earlier, ended up finishing it too. Short little indie game. Cool. Good to hear. I like the Sunken City, but it keeps on going, doesn't it? I mean, after a while, it kind of just, I think it loses its sort of Lovecraftian intrigue. It enters a different realm. And that's more of a fetch quest sort of thing. I'm going to have some pizza after this, some frozen pizza. Actually, no, I've got some snacks. I've got some tuck and some of these gummy things. And then I'll go right on with the stream. Oh, it's midnight now. Happy Thursday! Tipsy Thursday. Woo! Still putting Wasted Wednesday down, because a lot of people who watch this will be in America, and it's still technically Wednesday. I don't know if it was too long. The missions were just too samey. Yes! I got that vibe. It was go here, do that, go back, and get experience points or items. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when you've played Skyrim for too long and all the interesting quests have been emptied out. Or Mass Effect, not Mass Effect. Mass Effect didn't have those fetch quest sort of games. Borderlands. Gave me a vibe of Borderlands in that regard. The setting is great. Absolutely love the setting. Some of the creations are pretty cool. That's what they used to say about Dragon Age 2. I remember that. It's old as the same. Yeah, I mean, like, do you ever get to go to, like, Ryloth or another alien world or a city in the sand? Do you ever get to go to, like, a true sunken city? Borderlands had humor enough. I remember there was a fetch quest where you had to go and kill this guy's ex-girlfriend, but she was surrounded by these mutants, and the mutants were all named after the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and you had to feed them pizza to draw them out. So you had to go and get pizza first, go to that location, summon them, kill them one by one, and then kill off the girlfriend. I thought that was like a really cool little just a throwaway thing, but it was still a throwaway thing. I saw the diving suit bits. You got to see squids and strange images in the night. Lovecraft, for a man who was born along the coast, he had some real fear of what lies beneath. What lies beneath. I'm sure that's definitely a movie. That's the last of the Duval. Highly recommend Duval. The Saison, I'm not a big fan of Saison, but that wasn't terrible. And there was one more. No, there wasn't. There was two. I had two of those little Bailey things as well. Bailey Mocha and Bailey Caramel. Oh, yeah. Oh, beautiful. In the summertime, best drink you can have. You'd have to down like 4 of them to get a little drunk, but they taste so lovely. Well, who thinks of what lies beneath more than coastal people? Sure, but they don't fear it in the same way. He was just terrified. He was almost like a hypochondriac. He was terrified of everything. He was terrified of brown people, black people. He was terrified of poor people. He was terrified of change. He was terrified in many ways of women. He was terrified of ancient stuff before Christianity. He was terrified of course, oceanic stuff. He was terrified of so much. I mean, I like what Gurley does, showing that old recording of Lovecraft, and he's talking about like his inspiration, and you could tell he's kind of jittery. He's just a neurotic pussy. He's just, which, don't get me wrong, that he managed to manifest that shit into something like an existential dread. And I think he really nails existential dread in some cases. Because if you take away, like, the Lovecraftian gods and all the monsters around it, he's terrified of what could live in the dark. But at the end of the day, when we die, we live in the dark. That's where we go. Yeah, I don't know if that is him or not, but I need to see some checking out. I'd have to actually like just look online and see is this an actual interview of Lovecraft? Just look for an actual interview with Lovecraft and hear how he talks. But you know, it must have been doubly bad for him, because these days people would consider him a fucking feather in the wind. Back then, they would have considered him a fucking the slug version of Jerry from Rick and Morty at that couple spa clinic. His Bet's visual manifestation of Jerry as the slug who's constantly presenting himself. That's how his era must have seen, like, all his friends, all the sort of Great Gatsby-esque sort of waspish wealthy New Yorkers who were going to speakeasies and coming back from World War One with their brains fucked up. They would have seen Lovecraft as like this sad little man who was just something to play with, something to fuck. I bet he was bullied a lot. I really do. I bet he was bullied by his family, his friends. And if it wasn't for the fact that he too was one of us, he's one of us, darling, he would have just been ripped. He would have just been completely dismissed. He would have killed himself. He wouldn't have survived. Could you imagine H.P. Lovecraft surviving if he was born in a poor family? I don't think so. But saying that, like, the situation all lined up perfectly to make this one really cool dude, well, not cool, but really interesting man, get his stuff on paper, and it resulted in some great stuff. He was, but then again, so was Edgar Allan Poe, but Edgar Allan Poe could hold a conversation. He could control a room. When Poe walked into a room, everyone flocked to him. And so was Dickens, for that matter. Someone who wasn't very sad would have been, obviously, like Mark Twain. He was the exact opposite. He was like Teddy Roosevelt. He walked into a room and people were like, Marky boy, come over here, let's get drunk. Like, you just get him drunk and start waxing soliloquy. Like, that would have been a great time to be alive. I do like that film, famous director movie, famous for divorcing his wife and marrying his stepdaughter. Jewish glasses, considered like art house gold. I think his name has Woody Allen? Is it Woody Allen? I'm thinking of... Oh, jeez. He's very New York. Very, very New York. Horrible person, but great actual, like... Is that the person I'm thinking of? Woody Allen doesn't seem right. But he made a film with Owen Wilson a few years ago, and it was like Night in Paris or something. And this screenwriter and his wife go to Paris, modern day, and A, to try to fix their relationship, and B, he needs inspiration. And he had a terrible fight with his wife, and he starts Woody Allen. Alright, cool. So he goes and he's walking down the street at night in Paris, and this car pulls up from like an old Model T, and all these people in tuxedos are like holding bottles of champagne and wine, and they're like, woo, get in! And he just gets in, and suddenly he's transported back to that era, and he meets Salvador Dali, he meets Ernest Hemingway, he meets Pablo Picasso. And it's like it's almost like one of those kids' history shows where you walk down the street and suddenly, look, here is Aristotle, you know, like just wandering down a random street, and like I like that because it showed the attitudes of each and every one of them. I didn't actually like the movie itself. I liked the message, but the movie itself was paced all over the place. Yes, he was playing Assassin's Creed. I mean, for fuck's sake, within, like, especially Assassin's Creed 2, in 5 minutes you're, like, running across Leonardo da Vinci and Machiavelli. And it's just bullshit. And the Borgias, because, sure, why the fuck not? Let's get all the famous people in history in one room together. Why? Because we can. It's just, I get it, and when it's done right, it's fine. I mean, that's what Ready Player One was. Yeah, Assassin's Creed 3 just pumped anyone remotely famous in colonial America was just magically appeared. And they make references to the other famous people up to 100 years prior. And if you look at the Codex thing, 100 years hence. While always trying to keep it connected. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an interesting theory, but it's one that is just so ridiculous. And it's all... Remember, this was all based heavily off Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, you know? In many ways, it's a very American response to history. We don't need a massive time span between two people. We want them together now. Why? Because it makes good drama. You know, like... When it works, it works. When it doesn't, it looks stupid. I do love how the latest game even had a guy named testing. The latest game is an example of Ubisoft going, right, well, we've been producing the exact same game for the past decade now, and some change. So do we even have to try anymore? No. Let's just spin a wheel. Ancient Greece. What's the next one? Samurai. What after that? India. What after that? Come on. World War One. Ah, yes. Someone with blades will be fine against a machine gun. Remember, the SJWs were pissed off that people weren't being represented, so put in front of it a big blurb and just keep adding stuff to it, because we care about shit. Like, it's like companies during Gay Pride. No, you don't care about anything but your bottom line, because you're Ubisoft. Oh, Ubisoft. Anyway, I'm procrastinating at this point when I can actually give you content. This has been good conversation, though. This is why I'd love to get my camera back, so I could just sit down out there in the balcony, get shit-faced, and talk to you motherfuckers. But my camera is still currently no-go. So at this point, I'm just going to get my laptop. It's quicker. I actually went looking for a camera today. This whole village, not a single person stocks a webcam. Would you bloody believe that? The philosopher guy, what's his face? Archimedes, Plato, Socrates, Strabo, Socrates. Yeah, everyone loves Socrates. Which is weird because we only ever get knowledge of Socrates from his student Plato, who then adds to it. It almost makes me think that the first time he ever made stuff, Plato made stuff dedicated to his former mentor, and then later on in his life, no, I came up with all this stuff. Ancient Greeks were prone to do that. Ancient world was prone to do that. Just look at Egypt, all the obelisks that were built, and then suddenly the names of the original pharaoh was ripped out and a new name was put in. That obelisk has been there for 400 years. No, it hasn't. It was only put up last Tuesday. Don't you forget it. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I'll be back on within half an hour. Maybe even less. So, watch this space. Thank you, everyone who watched. Sorry it isn't so much a game stream as it turned into just a ramble. But hell, I called them, on average, low-energy rambles for moments like this. And let's be honest here. Fuck Bioshock 2 for constantly crashing. Like, I don't want to do that. It's a great game. Well, it's a good game. But, I don't want to have to constantly go through that. So, you know what to do at this point. Like, share, subscribe. Check the Discord down below. The Rabbit link is gone because, unfortunately, Rabbit is gone. If I find an alternative to Rabbit, I'll let you all know. But, I'm just procrastinating at this point, and I need to pee. So, I'll see you all, guys, pretty soon. For now, though, I think there is, in all fairness, 2 frozen pizzas with my name on it. Yes, 2, but they're thin-based, so I'm not fat. Shut up! I was just built this way. Bye!